Greetings, travelers, snowbirds, campers. Coastal here. Let me turn this thing off here. That's the PowerMate. PowerMate 2000 watts. I've had that about 6 years. It's worked out great. Just keep changing that oil and check the spark plug. Put some clean gas in it. 1 gallon of gas. Runs that AC for 8 hours. And anything else you're running. So I want to talk to you. I got a letter from Richard Federer up there in Fort Lee, New Jersey. He said, Kev, how do you stay warm down there in Florida? We've had a little cold spell going on here, and I thought I'd let you know how we kind of stay warm when it's 45 degrees at night. So I'm a propane guy now. Yeah, we're doing the propane action. I know everybody has the solar panels and the big old forklift batteries and all that good stuff, but we're just running to propane. You don't run it all night, but I got a little method now with this little gizmo. You take the gas out of the bigger tank, your barbecue tank, and put it in the little tanks. Save you some do-re-mi. So I'll explain it to you. So you know these little bottles, they're called a 1 pound bottle of gas, propane. And you get them at the big box store. They come in a pair. And this is $10. About there. $9.50 something. And when you're done, you just throw this metal away. Or take it out to the curb and let the scrappers get it. These propane bottles have a little relief valve. Too much pressure in there and it'll pop that valve. But with this new gizmo I got here, you can get the gas out of the bigger tank and fill these, refill them. There's many YouTube videos about refilling them. Mine's kind of a simple method. Let me show you its features. Now, according to the instructions, this is a unit here. It's called a transfer valve, propane transfer valve. Most of the stores did not have it available, so you go online, order it up. It takes a week to get it. About, with tax, 12 bucks. Has this round thingy goes on the big tank, and this round thingy goes on your little bottles. Let's see if I can show you. Now, I like to set the big bottle, out in the sun for a while. Half hour, 40 minutes. Take the little bottle and put it in your cooler with the ice. Some say put it in the freezer. We don't have a freezer, so we just put it in the cooler and get the bottle cool and the big bottle warm. Physics does its thing. Now, you want to make sure that top valve on the big bottle is always closed while you're setting it up. This big valve here, keep that off while you're putting this on. Just screws on, and it's hand tight. That's good enough. Then take your bottle, your bitty bottle, get some thread started on it. clean the threads. Take your wrench, kind of back up that nut. There's no, you're not really torquing it down real hard, just keeping it nice and tight. Now the idea here is to open this up after I turn the bottle upside down. Get the bottle about like that, the big bottle, and open her up. So there's liquid in here, liquid propane. And since it's upside down, the liquid wants to go down. And there's enough pressure in there to fill the bottle, but not enough pressure to blow up the bottle or have it come flying off. And you let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes and fills up the bottle. Now, a lot of the guys are on the YouTubers are taking that bottle after we disconnect it and weigh it on a digital scale. And they're trying to get 1 pound of gas into that bottle. The bottle itself weighs a pound and the gas weighs a pound. So they're trying to get a reading of 2 pounds. I don't measure, I just fill it as far as it goes. If it needs to get refilled, we'll use it up and fill it up later. But it doesn't fill the bottle totally up. There's some air left in there for expansion and contraction. And like I said, if there were too much pressure in this big tank, it would pop that little relief valve. Got this little relief valve right there. And too much pressure, if these were sitting in the sun or something's going on, it's shaking or struck by lightning, I don't know, it'll release it. By the way, if you get you one of these adapters, this is where I do plumbing, you do soldering, sweating, copper, but these are handy when you're camping. This will light anything on fire. Well, especially a campfire. If you want to get a campfire going, light this thing, get it under some of them sticks, and it'll start your fire. Also pretty handy when you're doing auto maintenance. You got a tough nut that won't come off, you need a little heat, there's your little torch to put some heat to that nut that won't come off. So I carry that with me. So it's I don't know, you put your head down there and listen for it hissing. It's probably full. Tilt it back and turn this knob off. Turn the main valve off. If gas comes out, you're gonna freeze your fingers. Now, when you take this off, this is full of gas, this is full of gas. As it comes away from the tank, it's the puncture, the impregner is going to be take a little gap there, and it's going to spit a little bit of gas. So you want to take it off kind of quickly. Don't pause and hang out while it's losing its gas. And you might take a rag, hold on that. There it goes. See, just for a second. That's probably that much full of propane. Good enough for me. When this runs out, we'll do it again. And I fill 5 or 6 of them at a time. So you always have 3 or 4 that are ready to go. And keep that on there tight. And I like to take this off and stow that away. Stow it away with your gear so you don't lose it, and you don't want it out in the weather getting corroded. It's brass, I know. And then put your tank back in the barbecue or wherever you stow it. Now, what am I using for heat? Well, I don't run these gas appliances all night. I'm a sleeping bag kind of guy with a doggy. So I'll fire them up in the morning when I'm having coffee, or late at night before I'm going to bed, just to take the chill off. But I don't run them at night. I don't trust them. They're a source of fire. Nobody wants to wake up in the middle of a fire. I use the Little Buddy. Got your Little Buddy right there. They comes in different sizes. They have a square one with a tank in there. It has the igniter here. You click that a few times, it gets a pilot light going. Then hold it down when the pilot light's going. Count to 15, count to 20, let go, and then this heater will flame up. The pilot light stays lit until there's no more gas. And mash this big black button here and cuts it right off. It also has a I don't know, mercury switch, I guess. If it falls over, it shuts off. A little safety thing. And this area here gets hot. It will set your clothes on fire if you get close to that. If you're wearing a petticoat or something and you get it up against there, or the curtains or newspaper, it will start a fire. And when I'm in the van, I direct it so it's not up against the seat or up against the bed. It's got this much space around it. And heats the van pretty good. But years ago I tried heating all night, and I went through 2 or 3 bottles in a 4 or 5 hour period. So it's really not economical to run it all night. And like I said, I don't trust it. That's a modern catalytic heater. Here's the old style. I've had one of these a long time. That's the old style Coleman. Now, this takes a match. You open the gas and you can hear it, and you set a match to it, and it flames up a little bit, and then it'll get started, and then you switch the valve to all the way on, and that produces a pretty good amount of heat. Again, it's hot. If you put a piece of paper against that, it's going to catch fire. Be careful. You can also set her up like that. Be good in the duck blind or at the football game. Put it under your seat. Keep your hands warm. It will warm up the van. Take the chill off. That's old style. They don't make them anymore because it involves lighting it with a match. It's too dangerous. So like I said, I've got 3 or 4 of these filled up, ready to go. And of course, you want to make you some coffee. I've got the little stove. So that's how I do it when I'm dry camping. Dry camping means there's no electricity, there's no water, it's just a plot of ground, and that's where you camp. Bring in your own water, take out your own trash, in and out, pack it in, pack it out, that kind of thing. That's a dry camping. Now I want another suggestion here. Tip. You know, when you go to the camping store, you get your camping supplies. You've seen these blue mats. Now this one I use for work. It's pretty dirty. It's about as long as a person. And these are camping mats. It's about 1/2 inch, 3/8 thick. And that goes under your sleeping bag in your tent. But if you get one of these, I'd get a new one, nice and clean. Slide this thing under your bottom sheet. You got this on the mattress. You got this on the mattress, and your bottom sheet is on top, and then your body sleeps on top of this. It reflects the heat, keeps you toasty. Now, Ideally, you want to be plugged in, whether it's at a campground, at the job site, or at your neighbor's house, your friend's house. You're traveling, you're parked in his driveway, and you want to plug in. So when I plug in, I do run that style of heater all night long. I've never had a problem. You need to position it somewhere in the van where it's not up against something. Most of the heat is coming out of this area right here with a fan blowing it out. This metal here, tore up as it is, stays pretty cool. You can put your hand on it when it's fully going. It's not hot at all. So if cloth or paper gets against it, it's not bad. It's not going to hurt. It also has a motion sensor. If it tips over, it shuts off. And it has a little thermostat here. I just run it full blast because that thermostat, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. Just run it full blast. If it gets too hot, crack a window. These are really good. They were $30 at one time, and who knows what they are now. 50? Who knows? This one's made by Patton. They all look the same. They got these little handles on them. I don't know what for, but it's a good little unit. Just somewhat quiet. Little fan going in there, and I'll run that all night long, no problem. I've never had one short out, catch fire. I feel safe with this one because this outside unit stays cool. These other units, they get pretty hot, and a piece of paper up against one of these units, you know, I don't know, the dog jumps around, a piece of tissue hits that thing, it's going to start a fire. So ideally, you want to plug in, and I've got a 12 gauge 50 feet of wire that's coiled up in a van, and I bring it out through the bottom door, run it to the house, to the garage, wherever they've got electricity, and also in the van I've got a circuit breaker, just like you'd have at a house, a 15 amp breaker. If my coffee maker, my hair dryer, my curling iron or something shorts, it'll trip that breaker in the van before it trips the breaker in the house, the job site, wherever I am. So that's the ideal situation. You park in a driveway at a campground, plug in, you got heat all night, safe with the electric heater. Now, if it was really cold, I could fire up the generator, run the cord, and run this electric heater. But I don't like to run the generator all night. I'm somewhat frugal about that. I have run the generator before. It's 6 or 7 years old, and it's been running great. I have run the generator in the summertime in Panama City Beach. When it's 85 at night and high humidity, I'll run that AC at night 3 or 4 hours off the generator. And also you want to kind of cover the generator. It's really not made to be out in the rain 24/7. It can take a sprinkler or two, but if you leave them out in the rain, water can get in there and gum them up. And that generator holds a gallon of gas. I bring an extra gallon. I'm good for the weekend, pretty much. Don't run it 24/7, just when it gets really hot. Traveling through Texas, stop, find a shady spot, run the generator a couple hours, do some snacking and napping. So that's how we stay warm. When it's chilly, 45 at night. Now it's going to warm up this week. We'll get up to 60 or so, 83 in the day. So that's not bad. But really, I'm going to do a little more research. I may have explained it to you before, but the warm weather is from here down, night and day, January and February. From Okeechobee south, this is your warm zone. We're up in Tampa and we're still 45 at night. Up in here in the Panhandle, 45. Could get 32 at night. It'll warm up to 70s and 80s up in here during the day. But right about here, of course, ideally you want to be in Miami. That's where it's going to be, 83 in the day, 68 to 72 at night. It's just beautiful. You don't need AC or heat or nothing. So I'm going to do some research and look around Okeechobee. Find a place, do a job site or a house sitting, plug in. But if the weather's good, you don't have to plug in down here. Up here, I've got customers I plug in. Not here at the acre. We call this the acre. It's an empty lot, no electricity. So that's how we stay warm in chilly Florida. Now, last year the guy said, well, it was hot in January. So just depends on the year. One year it's chilly. Next year it's 45 at night. So we'll hang out here another month here and we'll head back to beautiful Picayune, Mississippi. We got some chores to do there and we're going to save up for our next adventure, which is to the Golden State for the month of June. There'll be some warm temps crossing Texas, I know that. Alright, Coastal Kev, staying warm. Hope you all having a good day and we'll check you on the next one.